Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by my contribution to Scotland's Explorathon 2020. My name is Tessa Plint, and I am a PhD research student at the Lyell Centre at Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh, Scotland. My research right now involves studying deep-diving whale species that live off the coast of Scotland using biogeochemistry to better understand their diet and behaviour. So stay tuned if you want to learn more about these amazing deep-diving animals, and for a bonus feature at the end, where I'll take you on a guided tour of a whale skull. Technically speaking, I am an isotope geochemist who studies cetacean diet and physiology, which all sounds a bit complicated, but when you break it down, what it really means is that I spy on whales using some cool chemistry techniques. Whales are a widely distributed and diverse group of fully aquatic marine mammals. Whales are cetaceans, meaning that they belong to the animal group that comprises whales, dolphins, and porpoises. Whales spend their entire lives in the water. However, they are still mammals, meaning that they are warm-blooded and need to breathe air in order to survive. There are two types of whales. One, the baleen whales that feed primarily on tiny sea creatures like krill and plankton. An example you might recognize of baleen whales are humpback whales. And two, there are the toothed whales that feed primarily on squid, fish, and other marine mammals. An example you might recognize are killer whales or sperm whales. So I study deep-diving whales, including the giant sperm whales and the smaller beaked whales. In fact, there are 23 species of beaked whale worldwide, and the waters around the British Isles are increasingly recognized as important habitat for these elusive animals. When I say these whales are deep diving, I mean really deep diving. Some species of beaked whale regularly dive to depths of 1,500 meters down in the ocean to hunt for squid, which is one of their favorite foods. In fact, a Cuvier's beaked whale with a digital tag attached to it holds the record for the deepest dive of any mammal, 2,992 meters. That's nearly 3 kilometers deep down into the ocean. Because beaked whales in particular hunt for food in very deep water, and they're also pretty quiet and elusive when they come up to the surface to breathe, we don't often see these whales out in the wild doing their thing. In fact, beaked whales are considered the least well understood group of large mammals in the world. Keep in mind that there are 23 species of beaked whale, and some of these animals can grow over 40 feet long. You'd think we'd know more about them. Because these whales are challenging to observe in the wild, researchers need to get creative. One of the ways we can study the life and habits of these elusive whales is by using chemical signatures left in their bones, teeth, and soft tissues. We can learn a lot about deep-diving whales through animals that strand along the coastlines and unfortunately die. While it is sad that the whales do die, these animals provide invaluable specimens to researchers where we can learn lots about their anatomy and even by what they are eating by looking at their stomach contents. While researchers can look at whale stomach contents, we can also zoom in to the molecular level. I work primarily with whale blubber. Blubber is how marine mammals stay warm while out in the ocean. It's a layer of tissue that is super rich in fats that sits just below the skin. You can think of it like a full-body envelope that helps hold in the heat, almost like putting on an extra warm coat in winter. Some of the fat molecules from the food that the whale eats get stored in the blubber as energy reserves. We can look at the composition of the blubber and look at the different types of fats present and where they come from to learn more about whale diet. Another technique we use is stable isotope analysis. Stable isotopes are everywhere and in everything, and unlike radioactive isotopes, they do not decay over time. You can think of them like chemical signatures. In the world of stable isotopes, you are what you eat, which means you take on the isotopic signature of the food that you ingest. We can look at the stable isotope composition of whale tissues and learn more about their diet that way as well. So by looking at the different fat molecules that come from diet that are stored in the blubber, and by looking at the stable isotope composition of the whale's soft tissues, we can build up this picture of what the whale is eating without ever actually having to watch it forage in the wild. And now it's time for our bonus feature. So since I started working with whale material for my research, I get a lot of questions about their skeletons and people asking what do they look like and how big are they. One comment that I get a lot when I show people photos of whale skulls is either, "What is that?" or "I didn't expect it to look like that." So whale skulls are pretty weird looking, which is a simple fact, and today we're going to learn a bit more about them. If we look at our own skull, it's easy to recognize basic features. As humans, we have a pretty flat face, we have 2 forward-facing eye sockets, a nose directly beneath that, and a mouth with teeth directly below that. And then we have the big round brain case at the back. When we look at a whale skull, we have all the same features, but they're just organized in a little bit of a different way. Here we are looking down onto a sourbeast-beaked whale skull. Keep in mind that this is just the cranium and that the lower jaw isn't included in this photo. So we still have the big rounded brain case at the back of the head, but the face of the whale is long and extended. The eyes face the sides and are tucked down on either side, and the whales don't have nostrils at the tip of their beaks, where you might expect it to be. Instead, they have a blowhole towards the top of their heads so that they can breathe easily when their heads break the surface of the water. Then we have this elongated upper jaw, or rostrum. Both the upper and lower jaw are elongated. In many species, both upper and lower jaws have lots of teeth in them to help them catch their prey. Whale skulls are weird looking and specially adapted for their lives underwater, but learning a few basic anatomical landmarks can help you become a pro in no time. So if we zoom into the whale's forehead, we can see these dished areas located above the eye sockets and on either side of the blowhole. This area holds a body of fatty tissue called the melon, and no, it's not a piece of fruit. In toothed whales, the melon is a fatty organ located in the forehead that helps the animal send and receive sounds when they communicate underwater using high-frequency sounds or echolocation. If you want to see a whale skull in real life, there is a great exhibit at the National Museum of Scotland in Edinburgh. There you can see Moby, the skull of a 40-foot-long male sperm whale that's stranded in the River Forth back in 1997. It's a really impressive exhibit, and I highly recommend that you check it out if you're ever in Edinburgh. Thanks for listening, everyone, and stay curious about science.